Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Logan and I'm a Southeast Michigan Realtor. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down how long it takes to buy a house. Buying a home isn't a one-click purchase. It's a journey with multiple steps. If you're wondering how long the active home buying process takes, this guide will break it down for you. We'll walk through all the steps of the home buying process: pre-approval, house hunting, making an offer, inspection, appraisal, underwriting, and closing. We'll look at the typical timeline for each step, what happens in each step, and tips to avoid delays. By understanding the timeline and setting realistic expectations, you can navigate your home purchase with less stress and more confidence. First, we'll start off with mortgage pre-approval. Mortgage pre-approval is the first big step in the active home buying process. You'll choose a lender and you'll submit your financial information so they can pre-approve you for a loan. The lender will check your credit and verify your income and assets to see how much house you can afford and issue you a pre-approval letter. This letter shows that you're a serious, qualified buyer. Getting pre-approved can be pretty quick, often just a few days if you have your documents ready. Some lenders might even approve you within one business day, while others could take up to a week. Many pre-approvals are valid for 60 to 90 days before they expire and need updating, so timing can matter if your house hunt goes on for a while. If you're missing paperwork or have unresolved problems on your credit report, pre-approval can take longer. For example, errors on your credit report or a lower credit score might require additional verification and might take longer to get approved. Similarly, if you have an unusual income situation, say you're self-employed or have multiple jobs, lenders might need more time and documentation to assess your finances. Start prepping early. Before you even apply, check your credit report for errors and pay any outstanding debts if possible. Gather key documents in advance so you can hand them over quickly. Now moving on to our next step in the home buying process, house hunting. House hunting is where you search for homes that fit your budget and needs. This phase involves browsing online listings, going to open houses and showings, and really fine-tuning what it is you want in your home. It ends when you find the one and you're ready to make an offer. This step is often the biggest wild card in the timeline. It can range from a few weeks to several months depending on your preferences in the market. In a best case scenario, some buyers might find a great home in a matter of weeks, but it's not unusual for it to take 3 to 6 months to find a home. According to Zillow research, about half of buyers searched for less than 3 months, while 13% of buyers searched from 7 months to a year. If it's a seller's market where there's more buyers than homes for sale, good homes will get snapped up quickly and you might get outbid a couple times. The more specific your wish list, the longer it'll take to find a match. For example, if you only want a very specific neighborhood or a unique feature, you might be waiting months for that to appear on the market. It's normal to be choosy with big purchases, but if you hesitate too long on a house you like, it could end up under contract with somebody else. Likewise, losing in bidding wars or having multiple offers not accepted means you're going to have to keep searching. Key here is preparation and clarity. Make a list of your must-haves and nice-to-haves early. This helps focus your search so you're not touring every house under the sun. Work with a good real estate agent who knows the local market. They can alert you quickly to new listings and help you gauge how fast you'll need to move. Next step in the home buying process, making an offer. Once you found the house you want, the next step is making a formal offer to the seller. This includes writing up a purchase offer contract, often with your agent's help, which includes what you're willing to pay for the home and under what terms. The seller will then decide to reject, accept, and negotiate your offer. If the seller comes back with different terms, you may go back and forth until you have an agreement on sales price, closing date, and any contingencies. This step can be fairly quick in many cases. In general, once you submit an offer, you'll probably hear back within a day or two. If the seller accepts immediately, you're done. If there's counteroffers or a negotiation, that process will typically add a few more days of back and forth. Often, negotiations don't last more than a week before you come to a deal or one side walks away. Note that if you're competing with other buyers, the seller might delay responding while they review other offers. The offer stage might stretch out if there's extended negotiation. For instance, if the seller counters and you counter back, each step is going to take more time. The best way to move through the offer step quickly is to come in prepared and reasonable. Use your agent's expertise to craft a strong offer that's in line with market value. Include your pre-approval letter to show you're financially ready. The next step in the home buying process is the home inspection. Home inspection is a post-offer due diligence step where you hire a professional inspector to examine the condition of the property. It's technically optional, it's highly recommended in order to uncover potential issues with the home. Often, the standard contract will allow for 7 to 10 days for a buyer to complete an inspection and request any repairs from the seller. You'll need to schedule an inspector, often within a few days of going under contract. The home inspection itself is usually about 3 hours on site. Afterwards, the inspector will produce a written report, which will typically take 1 to 2 days to finalize and get sent to you. One potential issue is scheduling. Sometimes local inspectors are just very busy. Sometimes it could be a hot market and there could be many houses going under contract at once. Or maybe you're in a rural area and there's just not a lot of local inspectors. To avoid this, many buyers call an inspector immediately after their offer is accepted. The inspection might reveal major issues that require further evaluation. You might need a specialist to come out for a second inspection or estimate, which takes more time. As soon as you have a signed contract, line up a home inspector. Your agent can usually recommend you a reputable one. The sooner you have it scheduled, the more buffer you have. The next step in the home buying process is the home appraisal. An appraisal is an assessment of the home's value, and it's usually required by a lender if you're getting a mortgage. After you're under contract, the lender wants to ensure the home is worth at least what you've agreed to pay. The appraiser will visit the property, compare it with recent sales, and produce an appraisal report with an opinion of value. This protects both you and the lender from overpaying for the property. The appraisal is typically initiated by your lender shortly after the contract is signed, usually around the same time the inspection is happening. The actual appraisal appointment at the home might be scheduled within a week or so of being ordered. The visit could be relatively brief, perhaps an hour or two to inspect and photograph the property, then the appraiser needs to do their analysis and write the report. A common cause of delay here is appraiser scheduling and availability. In a busy real estate market, appraisers might get backed up, meaning it's going to take longer to get the appointment and report. If the property is in a rural area, finding an appraiser might be harder, adding time. There's not a ton a buyer can do to speed up the process of an appraisal, since it's largely on the lender's side. What you can do is ask the lender when they're going to order the appraisal. The sooner, the better. Verify that the lender has all the info that they need about the property quickly. It might also help to have your agent give the appraiser a packet of the recent comps to justify the price. The next step in the home buying process is the mortgage underwriting. Underwriting is the detailed review process your lender conducts to officially approve your mortgage. Even if you got pre-approved, now the lender's underwriting department will verify everything in depth. Your income, assets, credit, and debts, and even details about the property. The underwriter's job is to ensure the loan meets the lender's guidelines and that you and the home qualify for the mortgage. Underwriting typically takes a few weeks. In most home purchases, the typical 30 to 45 days of the contract to closing period is mostly the underwriting and mortgage processing period. Some lenders work faster, trying to close loans within 2 weeks, while others might take longer, especially if workloads are high. Industry data often shows ranges from the 30 to 50-day range from loan application to closing. Underwriting is a stage where many delays can pop up if things aren't smooth. If you don't provide all the paperwork or if the lender finds any discrepancies, they'll ask for more proof. Every time the lender has to request additional documents, it's going to take longer. Crucial not to change your financial picture during the process. If you were to say buy a new car or switch jobs midway, your lender would have to reevaluate your approval. Such changes can create major hiccups and even derail the entire loan. Even opening a new credit card or financing furniture can be a major red flag that delays approval. As discussed, if the appraisal comes in low or the home inspection reveals a problem that affects the loan, the underwriting process can't be finalized until those issues are resolved. Lenders verify a lot: your employment, your income, and your assets. If your employer is slow to return a verification letter or the IRS transcript request is delayed, this can slow the underwriting process. Underwriting also looks at the title report to ensure there are no liens or ownership disputes on the property. If a title search uncovers something, that issue must be resolved before closing, which can delay the process. Similarly, you'll need to secure homeowners insurance and provide proof. Once you're in underwriting, try to avoid anything that could change your financial picture. No new jobs, no new credit lines, and continue to pay your bills on time. Now for the final step in the home buying process, closing. Closing is the grand finale of the home buying process. Closing refers to the period of time leading up to the completion of the sale and the actual day where you'll meet to sign the papers. By closing time, all contingencies are satisfied, your loan is approved, all inspections or appraisals are done, and a title company has prepared the transfer of ownership. At the closing meeting, you'll sign all your mortgage and deed documents, pay your down payment and your closing costs, and receive the keys to your new home. Once underwriting is complete and you have the clear to close, the closing is scheduled. Typically, the target closing date is set in the purchase contract, usually 30 to 60 days after the offer was accepted. This depends on what the buyer and seller negotiate. In the last week or so before that date, a few important things happen. The lender will issue a closing disclosure, which by law you must receive at least 3 business days prior to closing. They'll also arrange a final walkthrough of the property, usually within 24 hours of closing, to ensure everything is as expected. On closing day, plan to spend a couple hours signing documents. On the buyer side, you have a lot more paperwork to sign, whereas the seller side is much smoother. The meeting might be at a title company office or an attorney's office, but when finished, you get the keys. Even at the finish line, there are a few things that could hold up the closing. If the final title search discovers an issue, closing can't proceed until it's resolved. If the closing documents have mistakes, these issues need fixing, which can delay signing. You're required to have a homeowner's insurance policy in place by closing. If you wait too late to get insurance and there's trouble, it could delay closing until you sort it out. Similarly, if you had a contract with contingency that hasn't happened in time, that could delay or blow up the closing on the new home. Most commonly, if a delay happens, it's usually a loan issue, appraisal, or title hiccup identified before closing. According to the National Association of Realtors, about 15% of home purchase contracts experience a delay in closing. As you approach closing, maintain close communication with your lender, agent, and title company. Make sure you secure homeowners insurance early. Don't let that wait till the last minute. Buying a house is a process with many moving parts, but with the right expectation and preparation, you can navigate it smoothly. In summary, from mortgage pre-approval to closing day, it can take around 4 to 5 months for many buyers in a normal scenario. Every home purchase is a little different, but by knowing this timeline, you're better prepared for the journey. Stay flexible and attentive, and you'll be handing over your down payment and signing closing papers before you know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more real estate tips and guides. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.